We're so excited for our episode today. We have a very special guest. Her name is Daniela Nastasi, and I met Daniela because she has this beautiful horse farm here in Chester, New York, in the Hudson Valley. And I thought, you know what? Daniela is a perfect person to join us in this series as we are highlighting individuals who have made the leap from being employee to an entrepreneur. And Daniela just did that very recently, last year, in the middle of COVID. So we're so excited to have you here today. Welcome, Daniela.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here and so honored that you invited me. So thank you. Absolutely. So you want me to just
Yes,
tell you a
yes.
little bit about me right
Tell us
now?
a little bit about yourself. And of course, Raju and I will be digging in. But
Yeah.
yeah, share a little bit about yourself.
So, it's not that I love talking about myself, but it's kind of hard to just share a little, right? I'm like, okay, where do I start and where do I stop? Oh my goodness. So I am Daniela, Nastasi. I did purchase a horse sanctuary slash farm slash event space where I just decided it was time to leave the career that I was in. I used to be a property manager and was very unfulfilled. And so I found myself spending more and more time with horses and just feeling very connected with them, as well as in nature. I used to lead hikes all over New Jersey. I was living in New Jersey, there's tons of hiking. And so I started leading these hikes, and that brought me even closer to this feeling of like, oh, this is where I belong. When you're in nature and you're absorbing all that energy, which is very healing, it does something to you. And so I decided to buy a farm and make this dream a reality. It was something that I knew I wanted to do for a very long time, and there was a catalyst in my life that really pushed me to actually make it a reality. And so this is so that's, I mean, the small, like the shortest version possible, because there's so much, we have our lives, right? We're doing so much every day. So
That's
um
perfect. What is the dream? Tell us what the dream is.
so the dream is to create a space where anyone and everyone can come to feed their soul, and that looks like a lot of different things in a lot of different ways, because what feeding your soul means to one person might mean something different to another. But what I have found is that when you're in nature with horses, or any animal, really, animals are just, there's something about them, but horses especially, it really does create an inner peace, a calm, a joy within all of us. Anyone who's ever visited feels the same thing. So I'm confident that it is a universal outlook, but also meditation is another big thing. And so I've I've created this space that has little pieces of me and my personality and my character and the things that have really helped me find harmony in my life, and that's what I want to share with everyone, because I think we could all use it.
Beautiful. Well, I've been there and I've been to your sanctuary a couple of times now. And I can say from experience, absolutely, it was both. Both times were very heart opening, and I got beyond what I even expected because I've never really been around horses and never really even knew prior to coming to your place that I would so enjoy them so much and learn so much from being around them. So, thank you for following your dream because I feel like it really has helped me.
Oh, thank you for thanking me. I love that. That's so beautiful. I'm so glad that you've had that experience, and it's been really nice having people come and feel what I feel around these guys, because it's often very challenging to put it into words what it feels like and what the experience entails. And it's different for everyone too. So that always becomes something that I tend to struggle with how to even explain it. So what you said was beautiful. Thank you.
Stories is a great way for people to understand, maybe who you are. And there's, life is full of stories, as you said, but you want to bring out those that actually are relevant and contextually life changing for you. So I love the idea of feeding the soul in these various ways, Daniela. But it's hard for someone who wants to go from this corporate journey, employee journey into an entrepreneur. What was that for you? What's the catalyst that drove you to, what was the decision point? I think it's all about the decisions we all go through life, right? We don't know whether they're right or wrong, but there is that moment of truth. Okay, I'm going to make this jump. So can you help us go through that, and then what led to feeding the soul?
Absolutely, yeah. So I knew through a meditation retreat, I knew what the dream actually was, because there was a long period in my life where I felt very lost. I didn't know what my purpose was here. I didn't know what my passion was. And so I was constantly on this search of, okay, what am I passionate about? What was I put on this earth here for? Because I was convinced that it was not just to work 9 to 5 every day, Monday to Friday, for people who I wanted to strangle, really, if we're being honest here. So so that's kind of where it all started. And I did a lot of different things. And this is a long answer to your question, sir. But I did a lot of different things to get to the point where I finally knew what it was I wanted to do. And meditation is what really cleared that path for me to figure it out. But then what happened was I got comfortable in my life, as we all do very easily. We're making enough money, and we're paying the bills, and we're finding these outlets that are fulfilling us in different ways. So it's okay. Well, what happened with me was in January of 2020, my brother took his own life. My brother-in-law, who I considered my brother because I had known him since I was 12, and it was an extreme tragedy for us and my family. And so what I got from it immediately was like, oh my gosh, someone who we never thought would have done such a thing. Who knew what was going on in his mind? Nobody, and no one will ever know. And I think that can be said for even us here today. Any one of us, we can know someone very well and think we know them better than maybe they know themselves, but we'll never truly know what's going on in their mind, right? And so that was one of the key things that I felt. And immediately after that, I thought, you know what? People need help. We need help. I need to do this. I need to do it now, because maybe had I done it sooner, maybe I could have helped him. And that was something I had to struggle with and kind of get past, because there was a lot of guilt there. But essentially, that was what made me say to myself, what am I waiting for? I have to do this, and I have to do it now. And so that was January of 2020 that he passed away. By March, I had rented out the home that I was living in, because I was like, that's it. All right, what do I got to do? I got to rent my house out, because that'll be easier to get that done first, so that then I'll find a place to live, and then I can find the farm. And once I find it, I don't have to worry about this, So I rented the house. That was pretty quick and easy. I decided, hey, mom, ring, ring. Hey, ma, you know what? You think I can crash with you for a little? Not long, because, I'm going to do this fast. I'm on a mission. I'm going to find this farm, and I won't be there for very long. Oh, of course, Daniela. I love you. You're my daughter. You live with me. Yes, perfect. So go to my mom's. Then what happens? COVID. So 6 months later, still at mom's, like, but at the same time, I stuck to it. I continued to network. I mean, I was still looking at houses, even though there was a point where, even in real estate, you couldn't, obviously, right? We all know what COVID did, but I would just go and walk around their property. I would pray that no one would call the police on me, but I was still like, well, you know what? I'll just walk around on the outside, and if it's good enough, then I want to see the inside, I'll keep it on my list, And so I kept going and had great support and a great realtor who put up with me constantly, like, what about this one? What about this one? Just all my millions of questions. And so, yeah, again, long answer to your question, but there it is.
Wow, that's so amazing. I'm so this, and I love the way that you just took us through the moment to moment, right? That you made a leap that led to another leap that led to another leap. And I think very often what gets in people's way is that they think they only need to make one big leap, right? And without knowing the end result, it causes people to then not make a move, not decide, not do anything. um, Now you easily could have found something like this, similar, I guess. But why become an entrepreneur along the way? What was the attraction to then becoming an entrepreneur, um, to be able to pursue this?
Well, I gotta say, I didn't really think of it as, okay, I want to become an entrepreneur. That wasn't even really a statement or a thought for me. It was more about, what can I do for myself and other people in this lifetime that I will be happy and proud of when I'm on my deathbed and it's all said and done. It was more of that thought, like, what can I do? Especially because I had felt for so many years of my life that I was meant for so much more than what I was doing. And I can't really even explain that feeling either. It just always felt like, I know I can do more than this. Like, I know I'm capable of more than this. I know I can do something. What, for so long, was the question. Like, I could do it, but what the heck is it? First of all, I don't even know. And that was the biggest challenge. But once I figured it out, um, then it was just having the courage, really, the courage to do it, because I'm still taking leaps all the time. Uh, this is this is an adventure, and I rather call it that than anything else, because there are days where sometimes it can be scary, and I quit the day job. I'm not bringing in a guaranteed salary anymore. That's freaking scary. And if I could curse, I would be using an F bomb to emphasize that, because it, it can really be. And there's times where I question, even still, like, was this the right choice? And I know that it was, but it's just to relay the fact that it's still a journey of constant leaps. It's still a journey of for me, finding myself still constantly as I grow older. And so I never thought of it as being an entrepreneur, but I did always feel like I hated working for jerks. And for some reason, in these companies that I was in, I mean, I had good people in my department, but like the higher ups were always so, ugh, they'll just insert curse words here, okay? Because they were just, yeah, they really made it so difficult. They didn't care. It was clear that they didn't care about the employees who were doing all the hard work at the end of the day. And so I always just hated that and felt like, you know what? I'd rather work for myself and care about myself and actually put in what I need to put in, and feel good knowing that at the end of the day it's for me and what I'm giving to the world, not for someone who doesn't appreciate it and is just overlooking all the joy and love that's gone into it, if that makes any sense. So, yeah.
Oh my God, totally. Because we've been through our own entrepreneurial journey from corporate to uh, to being business owners and business. It's every day. It's a new grind. So everything you just said just so resonates that where's the next dollar going to come from? And entrepreneurship whatever you want to call this journey of yours, is not for the faint of heart, right? It's just so hard at times, and you keep questioning, going back to like, what was I thinking? Well, is this still the right thing? And you're still questioning it. And I'm on my 6th startup here, and I still question every day, what was I crazy leaving this job 16 years ago? And we're still at it, right? So you mentioned all these, words like courage. You said it's an adventure. I mean, Trisha and I call our, being an entrepreneur is a spiritual journey. Being a business owner is a spiritual journey. So, and you started with that idea of feeding your soul and feeding other people's souls, and finding that space that helps people to really, contribute more. So, everything we do is, we call our programs are bold and conscious, and this podcast is Bold Conscious Connections. So you already hit on the word courage. What does it mean when we say the word bold to you, and why is that important?
Bold. Well, it makes me think of the horse that Trisha loves so much, and his name is Dante. And he is one of our rescue horses that is here at the farm right now. But when I think of bold, I think of him because he is very strong in his convictions, and he is very certain about himself, and no one is going to make him question his certainty. He's going to walk into the room and he's going to know where he stands. Are you going to know where you stand? So that's kind of the best way I could describe bold. And if you ever come to the farm and visit him, you'll be like, aha, I get it.
That is exactly why I'm in love with him.
Yeah. Right? Yeah, because he's gorgeous too. So you can't,
Yeah.
he's not bad to look at, and he's got that great, energy. It's, yeah, he's an amazing horse, but I'm sorry, because now I forgot what the second half of the question was. I started thinking about Dante and I got all like, ooh.
Well, I want to know what it means to you. So you're using him as a
Yeah.
metaphor for what
Yeah.
bold means to you, and why is it
Right.
important in this journey?
Well, oh man, so many reasons. Well, that's what bold is to me. What I just said, I guess I gave that good explanation. Why it's important, because it can, in this life that we live, and the society that we engage in, and the people that we spend time with, and the jobs that we do, all of it requires having a strong sense of self, having a certain sense of self, trusting and believing in ourselves. And so that when we are questioned, whether it's by ourselves or by others around us, we can answer with an infinite certainty that, yeah, you know what? I do know why I made this decision. I am going to keep going. And I don't care what anybody says. I'm going to make this good. Like, I'm going to make it so good. And for lack of, because again, I want to throw curses out and I'm not going to, but I just, I think that's important. And I'll tell you what, too, working with horses has helped me be more bold. And because I didn't realize that I was lacking having that level of boldness, if you will, or courage, or a certainty in myself. And it showed up because when I started working with these horses, they go off energy. You can say or do whatever you want, but if the energy you're bringing into that arena is not a strong, confident leader type energy, they're just like, who is this Pez dispenser coming in here trying to make me do stuff? Like, so, and you can't get mad at them, right? Like, if it was a person who said that, you'd be like, hey, you know what, guy, keep it to yourself. But it's a horse who's not lying to you. They don't lie. And so you can't get upset and you can't yell at them. You can only look at what you're bringing to the table and say, okay, how can I show up better? How can I show this horse that I mean what I say, and that I am holding firm until he believes me? That's really what the conversation is all the time. And that was huge for me because I was lacking in that area, and it showed up in my everyday. And, you know, Jen, who is here with me, she's my collaborative partner to some extent, and we've been doing a lot together. And every time we have a session, that's what she'll say to me, well, how is this showing up in your everyday life? And sometimes when people ask that question, I'm like, you know what? I don't even want to answer that. But but it really is. It's so it hits home because you're like, oh, and then you think about, or I thought about the relationships, and not just romantic. I mean, any relationship with family members, with coworkers, with strangers on the street. How am I showing up, and how are they responding to the energy I'm bringing to the table? So that is why it's important, because I didn't have healthy boundaries. I would say okay and let things go, and I wouldn't voice where my concerns were enough, and it really wasn't good. And that all came about with working with a horse and him showing me where I needed to step up and be more bold, because otherwise I would get trampled.
Wow. I'm so glad that you you shared that, because that was definitely my experience working with Dante the first time and certainly the second time. And prior to those experiences, Daniela, I was already feeling bold. I'm
Hmm.
bold, conscious leader. I'm bold. And I remember the first time I stepped into the arena and I had no idea what I was even doing there or what would happen. I had nothing to base it on. And it was comical. It
Yes.
was comical how Dante was basically just like, like you said, a Pez dispenser was in there. I mean, I was like, and they don't speak the language, so it's not like you could just yell at them to do things. Like, it was really, I had to find my confidence right there. I had to really
Right.
step into it and believe myself right then and
Mhm.
there, and then only then got to witness how that changed the way that he responded. And for me, it was such a quick, like 15-20 minute lesson on how much our energy matters that we put out to others.
Oof.
And it doesn't matter if we're not speaking the same language. If it doesn't matter if we're with a child or someone our age or someone older. These are all,
Mhm.
the unseen energy that is there, and it's very real. And that's what I truly appreciated about, the moments I got to spend with the horses. Was I really got to witness exactly that, which you're just describing.
Yeah. And if I had tried to put that into words to explain it to you, you would never fully get it until you experience it. It's just one of those things. And I like what you said, that I had to, it was comical. And you did, you were laughing because you have to. Because with horses, you can't get mad or angry. It's just gonna make it worse. Like, then they're gonna be like, all right, now I don't even want to deal with you. Get away, like they'll run from you. So you really have to not only, right? Not only do you have to recognize, okay, I need to believe in myself and really put this out there. And you can't BS a horse, because it's just not going to happen. If you're not believing it yourself, he's not believing it either. So not only do you have to do that, but you have to kind of put aside any emotion that comes up. You have to be able to say, you know what? It, this, like, it's okay. Whatever happens is okay. And keep a smile on, because they see your expressions. And if they see an angry face, they're like, back up. But so it is a lot, and it challenges you, but in the most amazing way, because how great did it feel, right? At the end. And then you were connected to him. And that's the bread and butter of it all right there, when you feel it.
Well, the best part was when we were all doing the walking
Hmm.
meditation and he came to me and rested his head on my shoulder, and I was just like, oh my goodness. So, you know, presence, that's probably the word that I really understood from having those
Mm.
experiences, was that when you're with them,
Nope.
you really can't be anywhere else. It's complete and total presence that it requires for you to have that connection with them. And imagine if we came with that level of presence, when we're with people, and so that leads me to my next question, which is about, the second part of our program. It's called conscious, right? Bold conscious. So earlier you had mentioned meditation. That's certainly one of the ways that I know me and Raju both do to practice or make sure we remain conscious. Speak to us a little bit about meditation, what it means for you, and if there are other practices you engage in that help you be more
Yeah.
conscious.
Well, meditation for me has really been a lifesaver in a lot of ways because I suffered from a lot of toxic thoughts at a young age. I planted my own seeds of toxicity and then I would water them myself. And so when meditation was presented to me, I was kind of like, okay, meditation, what is that going to do? And and really it took a lot of time and it took consistency and actually um, practicing regularly. And what I practice today is TM most of the time, and a lot of visualization, because that is what helps me with all of my head nonsense. Because when you get in your head, you're dead. Like it's known, I think, at this point, that we can recognize that we have control of our thoughts. We are not our thoughts. I mean, that was a novel idea for me. When I learned that, I was like, what? You mean I don't have to believe all the stupid thoughts that run through my head? It was really a moment of like, wow. And so that has helped me tremendously. And what I also do, I do a lot of different things. Spending time with the animals is huge for being conscious and, like you said, being present. And if you want to be able to have a two-way conversation with a horse, you really have to be aware and present and notice their nonverbal cues. And it could be something like a small lean to the right. If you're standing close to them, that could be saying, hey, you're too close. And it'll start there. And if you don't pay attention, then before you know it, they're walking away. So recognizing what they're telling me and being able to have a conversation with them that's mutually respectable and understood has been another way that has really helped me. And like I was saying before, going on hikes and just being in nature. I mean, I have my morning coffee. Actually, I'm stopping coffee because I think I'm addicted. But so, when I have my morning something, we'll just say breakfast or whatnot, I sit on my patio and I just listen to nature. I listen to the birds. I listen to the wind. I feel it, and that makes me feel so connected to nature in various ways. I've noticed all the butterflies, all the insects, whatever it is, I just want to hear it and feel it and see it. And so that's something that really helps me too, which I guess is another type of meditation if you really think about it. And I try to read as much as I can to help. Knowledge helps me a lot too, and exercising my brain and having fun and celebrating. I mean, those are things that I'm sure we can all relate to, that we, especially us entrepreneurs, that we may sometimes neglect to do that, to celebrate the little moments, to take time to actually enjoy. Because there are days where I look around and I'm like, this is my life. And wow, look at where I am. And I have horses. What? And look at this view. And it's just like, oh my gosh. And that is what makes it worth it when I, end up in a space where I'm like, why did I do this? Did I make the right choice? Those moments are always confirmation that I made the right choice and I'm exactly where I'm meant to be. So yeah, I can probably go on and on about this because I love this topic.
Mm. Well, for our listeners who don't know what TM is, can you speak a little bit more about that?
Yes, transcendental meditation. I went to a TM center, and it is a technique that they teach you. It's using a mantra, and they give you their mantra based on who you are, and it's a specific mantra that's different for everyone, apparently. And what I love about it is it it's a great meditation no matter what you're suffering from. If you suffer from anxiety, or you suffer from depression, or you suffer from, I don't know, something else that maybe I don't even know exists, that is, it's a pretty good solid meditation for anything, because it allows your mind to continue to work as it does. Because we could be having this podcast, you could be checking emails or sending a text at the same time. This is just how our society has molded us to be, always multitasking, doing different things, when realistically multitasking is a farce. It's actually not a good thing to do, because you don't get a good quality work on everything you're doing. But I digress. In any event, so your mind is capable of doing multiple things. So using a mantra is really, really great, because it's something that you whisper softly in the back of your mind, and you come back to it every time you've lost your train of thought. So it's allowing the thoughts to come up and almost kind of like bubble out of your head, and then you just always come back to the mantra. And so I always think of it as like a cleaning out your closet type of meditation. Because if we think the same things every day, then we take the same actions, we get the same results, and so we're stuck in the routine. But if we can kind of let those thoughts come out and just let them go and not be attached to them, and allow space for more empowering thoughts or different thoughts, whatever it is, that's when change, I think, really starts to happen. And so that's my description of TM for anyone who is not aware of it, and I recommend it to everybody.
Well, it's amazing. It's an amazing technique, and thanks for that extra education for these people, because we all think that, oh, this, we talk about this all the time, that we're woo-woo people, and we take that as a compliment, because that's what's going to change your life, not the run of the mill and the multitasking and the routines and the habits that we keep perpetuating unconsciously. And it's just, what's going to change if you're not aware and you're not conscious, right? And so these are very powerful techniques. So I want to go back. Sorry, go ahead.
Uh, no, I just remember what you're about to say, Raju, but I do want Daniela to also share with us just maybe like her top books that she's read in 2021, because she did say that you did say that you like to read. So any recommendations? Because we're big readers too. So love to hear some of the ones that you really made a difference for you this year.
So Crucial Conversations is one I'm reading right now that has been really good, because conversations, and as an entrepreneur, you got to have even more conversations all the time. And it could be tough to have those crucial ones without the idea that it's either going to go bad or good, and that there's no in between. So that was a big one. And then I'll look at my, because before that I had taken a little hiatus on reading. I was kind of like not reading anything, but before that I got sucked up into this novel, and it's it's about witches. so, so there's that. And then I have there's just so many books. Then I read Brene Brown's Dare to Lead book, which is also really good. She's amazing. Yeah, and then I would have to look back, because other than those few right now off the top of my head, I can't remember.
Yeah, that's good. No, that's great. And I heard you mention Crucial Conversations before, so thank you for reminding me. Yes.
Yeah, that was a really good one. I wish I could be like a computer and just plug the book into my mind and upload it, because I would read a million books every day if I had the time.
Well, have you done the speed reading courses so that you can actually read 5 times faster, maybe even 10 times faster?
No, I haven't. Is that just like skimming the sentence? Is that all it is? Because what else could
There's a whole technique to this. I have taken it a couple of different ways. I forget the name of the author. It's a woman that is the leader, and you can Google it. I can't remember off the top of my head. But in terms of memory, there's Jim Quick, who
Yes.
who talks about memory, but also relates it to speed reading.
Yeah.
So, but like everything else, we fall back into our mean and not pay attention, and you lose the attention, it goes away. So you need to keep reinforcing the speed reading. elements. Now you're reminding me that I should go back and to do that. I can read more books than I can. I mean, we also listen to books, right? Trisha and I do a lot of audible books, but sometimes you just want to sit there and read and take notes. And so that's what I'm used to. And I enjoy that part of it. So, oh my God, we could talk forever about this whole journey, but I want to go back to you talked about centeredness through TM and the practices, and you also mentioned this whole business you've gotten into is clearly an adventure. And what in the adventure crops up for you? I mean, the fears, the self-doubt comes up all the time for us as entrepreneurs. We know that. Why are you calling it an adventure again? And what has it meant for you? And who seeks to positively or otherwise benefit from your work that you're doing in this space, besides your clients, of course, and others that you come in contact with?
Okay, so why do I call it an adventure? Because things happen almost weekly that it's like, huh, is this what we're dealing with this week? All right. And so I've really made it a point to try to respond to the unknown with more of that curious mind of, okay, well, let's see where this goes now, as opposed to, why is this happening? Because that doesn't help me when I'm in the thick of things. And really, just before we got on the call, something happened, and for a split second, I was like, I wanted to scream, and then I thought, it'll be fine. Let me get ready for this podcast because I don't want to think about that right now. And I actually was really impressed with myself because I kind of flipped the switch and got ready, and I'm feeling, I was feeling good before we got on. I'm still feeling good. So I think how we frame things becomes huge then in how we feel about it. So, and I know Trisha and we've spoken about it just while she was here the couple of times, the vocabulary that we use and the self-talk that we have with ourselves can really make or break us in those difficult moments and situations. And so it has to be an adventure, because to me, an adventure is fun and it's exciting, and I don't know what's going to happen, and that makes it even more fun. So that's why I call it an adventure. And you asked me who benefits, right? You said who benefits from. I think anyone who I come in contact with is benefiting, because I'm always talking about this to everyone and anyone I meet, and I think it could become a domino effect if I'm sharing and they're getting it, and then they can share it to someone else, and then they share it, ongoing and ongoing. And I think when you have an experience where you can laugh and get a little nervous but excited, and see beauty and see what can come from spending more time, I think that is a contagious feeling. And so if you can share that and you can feel it and have others feel it too, then I think it's just a beautiful, beautiful thing that we can all benefit from experiencing. I mean, I can go through the list and tell you all the benefits, both mentally, physically, and scientifically, of spending time with horses or meditating. But I think until you actually feel it, sometimes it's just words on a page. So.
Wow. So those listening to this podcast, maybe you want to go back and hear some of that wisdom from Daniela, because, I related to a couple of experiences of mine with horses to Trisha. Now it makes me realize I wasn't ready at the time. So, and maybe I wasn't fully confident and certain in my ways because I got bucked off the horse and kicked, et cetera, et cetera. But yes, this is very powerful. And the ripple effect, I think, that you're talking about, even if you get a little piece of what you're saying here, any number of the practices that you recited or outlined, if people listening could at least just take one and put it into practice, it could be life changing, and then that changes others that you come in contact with, and so on and so forth. Beautifully put.
Yeah, so appreciate this conversation. And Raju and I, we also upload the video of this into our YouTube channel. And I am watching him, and we just can't stop smiling, laughing, because we love your energy. I mean, it's just like that New York Italian. I'm gonna tell it like it is. Here it is. And those listening, I mean, and watching, this is real. This is about real people going through the journey, or choosing to have an adventure with life. I love how beautifully you shared, that it's been about feeling the full range of human emotions available to us, right? It's being available to all of those emotions and enjoying it, embracing it, and at the core of it, bringing in play and fun, because that really is, what makes it all worth it, right? And for me, the farm, that's what it did for me, was it gave me space to play. It reminded me, it really was so healing for my inner child, because it felt so much like that for me, that I was doing something I had no idea, no experience, nothing to base it off of from the past. And so it had me in full on discovery mode. And it was so amazing. The first time was a 3 hour session, and the second time I came was a full weekend retreat. And it just was life changing. And I told Raju, like, I really don't have much to say other than it was, really heart opening. And I know you guys are hosting, is it a 4 or 5 day retreat at the end of September? Do you want to just speak about that real quickly? And
Yeah, and I'm gonna look at the dates because it's September 7th. No, I'm wrong. Sorry. Too many things in my calendar. There's so September 23rd to the 26th. So 4 days and 4 nights, and yeah, it's gonna be a retreat, staying here on the farm, and a lot of different moving parts, spending time with the horses, learning their language, also interacting with them. You had some time in the arena with Dante. It would be a lot more of that throughout the weekend, and also theta healing meditations and reflexology, and just all kinds of cool good stuff that is designed to just help us heal, release, and grow. And so again, it's like I always like, damn, can I explain this any better? Can I like get this so that they know what I'm saying? Like but you're not going to know until you do it. So you got to just do it, people. Whoever's listening, you just got to come and experience it. And it will be an experience that will last a lifetime, and it will lead to other things, guaranteed, whether it's deciding to take a leap or deciding to do something better for yourself that has nothing to do with entrepreneurship. Who knows it, but whatever the experience is, it's going to be one that's going to last, and it's going to stay with you, and it's going to be beautiful and magical, because that's just what horses are in general. So
well, we'll make sure to include that in the show notes. And do you want to just quickly, we have one more question before we end, but before we do that, do you want to just quickly tell the listeners where they can find more information about you and the
yeah,
farm?
absolutely. I am on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Daniela Nastasi. That's and Artemis Hill Farm is the name of the farm, and you can check out artemishillfarm.com. And Artemis is like the Greek goddess, so it's Artemis. And yeah, and I guess and you can email me too, info@artemishillfarm.com. and I will answer any questions, and I would love for you to contact me. Awesome.
Yeah, we'll put this in the show notes for sure. All right, the last question. Trisha, you want to go ahead? Yeah. So, we never take every minute that we get from people like you, Daniela, for granted. I mean, the wisdom that you share, the learnings that you've had and learnings we've had. I mean, obviously Trisha's had that firsthand, and I've heard it secondhand, which is how I related my own horse experiences to her. So yeah, I think I would certainly. I'm a little bit further away now than I was before, but certainly would look forward to an opportunity to actually meet you in person if I could. But so we don't take any of this for granted. But what we'd like to know in the same vein, what did you take away or discover in this conversation we've just had for the past hour or so?
That I really enjoy doing this, connecting with people and talking about it, and really actually what I said before about having something happen before and kind of getting into the mindset. I think I surprised even myself with how I did that like so quickly, because it was 12:30 something happened and I was like, so I think talking to you guys about all of this and the energy that has come of the conversation has been very intoxicating. And so I appreciate and I'm thankful that we had this call today and that you guys are doing this, because bold and conscious is those are two huge ideas, words and meanings and energies behind them that I think everyone can benefit from understanding and being around. So thank you, for doing this and for having me. And it's been a beautiful hour. And I'm gonna take this energy with me throughout the day and really spit it all over everybody else.
Amazing. Amazing. Well, thank you so much for being here with us today, for sharing your journey, your adventure with us. We'll get Raju up here in the next couple of months, and we'll go to the farm and really see. It's a
Yeah,
beautiful space. Yes, it's in Chester, New
thank
York,
you.
for those of you listening. And Daniela, again, we so appreciate you making the time to be here. And yes, keep going, keep doing what you're doing. And we look forward to having you back in the future to give us updates on what else has transpired with your adventure. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. You too.
You bet.
Bye.
Take care. Bye bye.